Hello everyone, I'm Renowned Zero, and we're back again talking about how the Assassin's Creed Shadows continues to climb up the US sales charts, even though it is not all it seems to be, as Ubisoft continues to not really put out the number of sales into the ether, just the amount of players that have been playing the game. And of course, these shills like Mighty Queef and Act Mayhem are basically just taking it all at face value and saying everyone's haters and, oh, look at the Assassin's Creed haters and look at how Assassin's Creed still has pull. Like, yeah, of course Assassin's Creed has pull. We all knew this, as the people that they claim are quote-unquote McGrifters have said this multiple times, that yes, Assassin's Creed is always going to have that pull because it's such a big franchise. However, it's not too big to fail type of franchise. Whereas something like Monster Hunter will sell over 10 million copies in its first month, Assassin's Creed Shadows will just have 3 million players, or according to online where I kind of did some research, it says that it sold, 1.6 million? And that's an approximation because we won't really get the sales charts until May 14th. Well, we'll get into this article here from Insider Gaming, but what I have to say is, you have people, like I said, the Act Mayhem, who said, "It is a tragic day for all Assassin's Creed Shadows haters." From this post with Matt Piscatella, who works for Circana, which is what he's using to track this, says, "Here's a fun one. Assassin's Creed Shadows has been the best-selling video game in the US for each of its first 3 weeks in market, according to Circana's retail tracking service, dollar sales latest data through April 5th. So it's dollar sales, it's not even how many copies sold. Currently ranks number 2 year-to-date, trailing over Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, it's interesting to me how Split Fiction, within its first week, sold over 2 million copies, but yet they're able to announce the sales just fine. Capcom's able to announce their sales just fine. Even Warhorse Studios with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 were able to announce their sales just fine. But for some reason, Ubisoft isn't brave enough to announce their sales, as they made a deal recently with Tencent for $1.16 billion to be a subsidiary, Tencent. Currently, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the second highest selling game of 2025 in the US, which is impressive, to be honest. Goes to show just how big the Assassin's Creed franchise still is. Then you had the secret Assassin's Creed Mirage that everyone forgot about, because nobody seems to compare Assassin's Creed Mirage to Assassin's Creed Shadows. They want to compare to Valhalla, which is the biggest launch, or the biggest sales in recent years for Assassin's Creed. I think it's actually the biggest ever for the franchise. But as you can see from someone like Blue Psycho here, who shares this thing that says, Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't the hit Ubisoft quote-unquote desperately needs. Analyst says Assassin's Creed Shadows is selling well, but it's reportedly tracking behind Assassin's Creed Valhalla and falls short of 2025 hits like Split Fiction. Now, this is the post that is being shared in the article, but Insider Gaming, from Blue Sky, where literally Matt Piscatella shows no evidence to support what the sales are for Assassin's Creed Shadows. And if you want to know who Matt Piscatella is, of course, he's an executive director and video game industry analyst at Circana, formerly known as the NPD Group. Moving on over to Assassin's Creed Shadows currently, we'll just do a quick refresh just to be sure we're up to date. It's currently sitting at 12,813 in-game, with a peak of 64,825 when you compare it to games like Split Fiction. And of course, I will do a refresh as well. It seems now it is past Split Fiction, where earlier it was actually at 34,000 current players in-game, even reaching an all-time peak of 259,000 players, even surpassing a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, that even this game has more than double the amount of players in-game, and well above what Assassin's Creed has for its all-time peak. And even with the estimations here for the sales numbers, Split Fiction is well ahead of that, and even Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is well ahead of that. And they were able to, of course, announce that they had over 2 million in sales, and so did Split Fiction, which I've played through Split Fiction. I think it is a near masterpiece of a game, probably hits masterpiece status, as Joseph Ferris is absolutely the king right now in co-op adventure games. Let's now get in the article from Insider Gaming here. Assassin's Creed Shadows is continuing to be a successful launch for Ubisoft amid all of the company uncertainty. According to the latest information from Circana, which they really provide none, the game is one of the best-selling games in the United States so far this year. In a post on Blue Sky, which is the post I showed you right here, which shows nothing but an actual post from Matt Piscatella, Circana's Matt Piscatella revealed that Assassin's Creed Shadows has been the best-selling video game in the US in each of its first 3 weeks on the market in terms of dollar sales. It was added that it's the second best-selling game year-to-date, trailing on Monster Hunter Wilds, where, like I said, Monster Hunter Wilds has sold over 10 million units worldwide, whereas if you type this in multiple times, it's going to say, oh, this sold over 3 million copies. This actually is supposed to be 3 million players since it's released, not 3 million in sales. Those specific numbers haven't been revealed by Circana, so they admit that they haven't even released any actual numbers. Ubisoft has publicly said that more than 3 million players have played the game as of its first week. That number, however, is likely to include those who received a copy from Ubisoft or are subscribers to Ubisoft Plus. So again, player counts. It's all about player counts for Ubisoft. It's unsure as of publishing what the official units sold count is for the game as it reaches a month on the market. So I typed it in multiple times. It gives different numbers. It's crazy. The latest one I saw was 1.6 or over 1.6. It's approximately, the latest numbers I saw was approximately 1.6, and that's an approximation, not a fact. The information is likely to come at or around the time Ubisoft holds its next earnings call on May 14th. So despite what this says, it says it's the second best-selling game of March, right? Meanwhile, Split Fiction had over 2 million units in the month of March. It definitely had over 2 million units in the month of March. Considering all the great publicity, as it even says right here, as of March 2025, Split Fiction has sold over 2 million units worldwide. So back in March, it sold over 2 million. So I don't understand how it could have been the best selling in March. But to me, I feel like Split Fiction is actually outselling Assassin's Creed Shadows right now, which is sad to see for Assassin's Creed, but great to see for someone like Joseph Fares, who deserves all the success in the world because he continues to make great co-op experiences, with even him having a Game of the Year title with It Takes Two back in 2021, which is crazy how a co-op game can outsell and beat out a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows as far as sales, even with all the hype and all the media behind it. You even had the media trying to go against Joseph Fares, where he had he had something to say about a comment where someone was saying that it was feminism and that Split Fiction was a woke game. And it's like, you try to go against this man, and he's right now outselling a AAA game from a AAA studio that had to be basically saved by Tencent with a $1.16 billion deal. Like, what are we doing here?
There are like passionate people, there are crazy people, and there is me. I'm so passionate to be here. I'm so excited to be and meeting these industry people. It's crazy, man. Like, look, this is kind of insane. Like, we're here, we're celebrating this. Look, the Oscars should themselves up. This is the shit. I'm telling you, this is the real shit. What is this? This is the interactive gaming. Look, I'm just saying this. Let me tell. Sorry, I'm taking. Let me just give me a minute. I want to take your time. Look. Okay, can you swear here? Can you swear? Okay. The Oscars, The Oscars. You. I'll tell you. I was like, this is.
And he's under EA, and I don't like EA either, because they've ruined Dragon Age, and they're going to basically ruin Mass Effect at this point. They had a terrible game with Mass Effect Andromeda. It was broken, buggy as all hell when it launched, and it didn't really do much for the franchise. It didn't sell very well, and now they're coming up with Mass Effect 5, talking about their favorite game has always been Mass Effect. They don't really care much about Dragon Age, and they completely tanked that game for the, on the altar of identity politics, with there being a trans story in that game. And then that person, Corin Bush, who was directing the game, left that company after that game basically flopped and is null and void and irrelevant. So now we're left with, of course, the usual shows like Mighty Queef and Actman trying to show for this game. And we'll just have to wait and see on May 14th what the true sales of Assassin's Creed Shadows are. And I'm going to keep you guys up to date on all of that when all of that comes out. But thank you all for checking out this video. Really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, smash the like button. Comment below what you feel about this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.